Hello, my name is Milan Baich, and I'll try to explain in three simple steps, oversimplified steps, of how organizational design is the backbone of how companies structure their people, processes, priorities, and ultimately achieve their goals. So, in this video, I'll explore three distinct design patterns that shape the way IT and other parts of the organization operate. So, in first, here we'll look at the matrix. A will be type of matrix. This is your typical government agency. Um, in B, we'll explore cross-functional teams in IT, but business is still working in a different way, and there's less alignment than in A. And C is more of a product-based type of structure or value stream-based type of structure. By understanding these approaches, you'll gain insights into how they impact collaboration, efficiency, innovation, and everything else. So let's dive into it. With the first A type of organization, on the left side, we have business, usually. IT is a separate department. Within IT, we have departments like development department, QA department, department, and so on. We have some type of PMO, and then projects, usually for all the way from portfolio management and business are and finance are aligned down to the projects, and people are aligned to projects. Typically, what used to happen, we would have BRDs, business requirements documents, that were sent, and then those business requirements documents were converted to system requirement documents, and then developers would work off that. And that was how a lot of companies worked, I don't know, 20 years ago. And what happens now if the company that's in this is pretty much all government agencies, there are obviously other companies that operate under this model, they'll say we want to do Scrum. And essentially what they'll do is they'll just create a Scrum team, and they say, okay, we're going to do this project as a Scrum framework. We might get people from these, we might get, few developers, we might get few QA, we're going to get some BA. We might tell our project manager, who usually comes from PMO, to be the Scrum Master. Essentially, you're not changing the structure, you're just laying Scrum framework on top of already existing structures. A lot of times, what we'll see is product owners come from business, but those product owners don't have a lot of say. So I have a separate video and article on this, but essentially, like, somebody that's called a product owner but is really analyst, they don't own anything. They're just order taker. They take orders from others and listen to. If you put somebody like that as a product owner, they don't really own anything. Another thing that I've seen, you might get somebody like what I call middleman product owner. And in this example, it might be somebody equivalent to project manager. And if they're product owner, they have a little bit more authority than an analyst, but not that much. This is the one where people are usually confused, because we have product manager as well as product owner. It's very rare to see that somebody like a product manager will act as a product owner in a type of structure. And technically, what happens a lot of times, it's this middleman and analyst type of product owner that might be reporting to somebody like a product manager, and then a product manager will be reporting up to a bunch of different stakeholders. So artificial, kind of Scrum only its name. The culture doesn't really change. The mindset of people doesn't change. The structure doesn't change. We're just changing practices a little bit. So that's A. In B, we see more of a IT transformation. So about 20 years ago, we started doing these agile transformations. And I remember working with one company where we took 1,500 people in IT and converted them to 118 Scrum and Kanban teams. So typically, what happens is IT is restructure where you dissolve the essentially IT department into cross-functional teams. And in this instance here, we had technical capability manager, and they would have up to 4 teams reporting to them. However, somebody from business would be as a product owner. And a lot of times you would see somebody, maybe like a middleman product owner, somebody that has some authority that's working day to day with the team, but really the product manager is like sometimes called chief product owner or area, or these guys here would be called area product owners. Or so there's different names, but ultimately the product manager has more authority than the product owner, and that's why a lot of people are confused. Like, if I told you you manage my house versus you own my house, which one will imply that you have more authority? So most companies are in this B model, and it's just a mess right now. Everybody's doing whatever they think is right, whatever their consultants are telling them. But the biggest difference here is business and IT are not aligned. And people are confused about the roles, who does what. We still usually have within the finance, we're doing traditional cost accounting versus throughput accounting. We have HR that's still pretty rigid. And essentially just this back and forth with IT, where business thought if IT changes and starts working this way, that business doesn't have to do anything. And to come back just to the product owner, even if you have somebody like a Cat Herder here, product manager being a product owner, they still don't own anything. So if they're reporting up to 3 people here, and these 3 people are going in opposite directions, this person here, this product manager or product owner or chief product owner, can't really say, oh no, we're going to go this way. Like, they just don't have the authority to do that. So there's a lot of kind of traditional, yes, we've changed and done some transformation in IT, but we don't fully align with business. On top of that, a lot of organizations, and probably a lot of you, will see technical product owners. These are people that are advocating for like automation, CI, CD, technical, addressing technical debt. And at this point, technical debt and you know technical excellence is not considered a business problem. It's still considered an IT problem. So in general, B is a mess. This is where most companies are. This is thought that they thought that this is gonna be where they needed to go, but really the next step is how do we combine business and IT, and how do we organize around products. So if you haven't heard about value streams, if you haven't heard about structuring products by or structuring organization by products, you will. So we can talk about structuring around products, structuring around flow, which is more important than structuring around products. But really in C, we're trying to minimize dependencies. We're trying to optimize for delivery of value and flow of value, to make sure that we understand where the bottlenecks are, and that we have that organizational agility to pivot as new things emerge and as the market changes. So generally speaking, in C, we have flatter structures. I'm using an example here from team topologies. This is just an example. People have opinions on certain frameworks. All of this is oversimplified, and just to give you an idea and differences between some of these structures. So here I've highlighted the stream teams, where you have dedicated stream teams. You could have multiple streams. You could have the solution team, enabling teams, platform teams. But generally speaking, this is a simplified, more end-to-end aligned organizational design. So if we even look at it up here, the A and B are structured usually around functions, and then you run projects across those functions. You budget across the projects. Where in C, we try to organize end to end. So we might have product that crosses all of these functions. We might have product that just goes over two of those. We might have a product that goes three of them. We might have a service. But generally speaking, we're looking at end-to-end optimization of value delivery to the customers. A couple other things that are probably important to note. Here I have what's usually on the left side versus what's on the right side. So silos and functions in A and B. You have more of a line network designed for flow and delivery or delivery of value. Generally in A and B, you have follow the plan, execute based on plan. Very focused on just get plan and then execute based on fixed date, fixed scope, that type of stuff. In C, it's all about delivering value, customer value, business value, depends on how you define value. In A and B, technical debt is IT problem. In C, technical debt is a business problem. We have product owners and everything else that comes with A and B model is mostly about taking orders from others, and it's very output focused. In C, it tends to be more problem solving customer problems, and outcome and impact focused. Funding silo cost centers, traditional cost accounting, versus funding value stream or a product, or what's called throughput accounting. We have more bureaucracy, red tape in A and B. In C, it's very transparent empiricism, meaning that we continuously inspect and adapt, adjust based on what we know and what's being observed. And then also, I guess all of this promotes kind of the culture and mindset of what's best for my department area versus what's best for the company. So there's a lot of sub-optimization in A and B, versus in C, we try to look at it more systematically and look at what's best for the whole system. The other thing, I'm not going to dive too much into it, but your technical excellence matters. And this is related to flow, this is related to the structure, but what we're trying to do is automate as much as we can and what makes sense, and also enable decision making on the ground rather than having stage gates like we did before. So essentially down here, we're getting to more continuous integration, continuous delivery, rather than having stage gates like we did in A and B, where there's a handoff all the way from portfolio to requirements gathering, design, build, test, release, run. All of those were separate areas where the previous area handed over work. And down here, this is more of what teams do. But this is a quick overview meant to give you just a perspective on it's going to be different if you work in a type of organization where it's government. You're going to be confused why they call me both project manager and scrum master. Why am I a product owner if I can't make any decisions? In B, it's going to be even more confusion, because I use analogy of cooking, but like nobody's a really good chef. Everybody's a cook at best, maybe line cooks. However, they assume that they're actually, James Beard Award chefs. And typically, cooks follow recipes, chefs create recipes. And what you need to do is not rely on a specific framework like Scrum or Kanban or Scaled Agile framework, but you have to be able to cook up a specific dish based on the ingredients that you have in your organization, rather than just following things blindly without understanding what you're doing. And what happens in B a lot is there are a lot of cooks that don't know what the heck they're doing. There are consultants that you bring in or that your leaders bring in that don't really know what they're doing. They claim to be good chefs, but they're really not. And it ends up being a mess. And there's still disconnect between business and IT. Once you move to C, generally people are happier, and you'll see business and IT more and more combined. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I've been asked by people in classes that I should do one of these and publish it online just so they can share it with others. So this is my first pilot, and let me know if you found it helpful and if I should do more of these. So thank you, and have a great day.